Now I can fold in the darts. First the shoulder dart. I fold that along the lines. And then the waist dart. I take in right here a little bit. And later then on the fabric you take in as much as you like. This is a variable measurement. And later when you fit your pattern you can determine how much you would like there. Please, Samantha, let's see how this pattern fits for you. Hold one finger right here. Very good. And lift your left arm a little bit. Excellent. And as you can see, this pattern really fits beautifully. The shoulder section is excellent. Center front, neckline, the armhole, no gaps around the armhole. I would just take in a little bit more for her waist dart to give her that tailored look. But this is a beautiful fit. Thank you very much, Samantha. Also, this illustration shows very well how differently the pattern can turn out for different measurements, made with the same little pattern design. And it does not matter if you have a commercial size or not. Now for Samantha, also the waist length was just right. However, that's not always the case. Just imagine that there are two people with the same bust and hip measurements, but they are completely different in height. And then you might ask yourself, how is it possible with only two measurements that this pattern always fits? Well, in some cases, you might have to lengthen or shorten the waist. And this is why you should always mark that little hole where the pin was. Because you would draw a line through that cross, parallel to the waist. In case you needed to lengthen the waist, then you would cut your pattern here with your scissors, open it for the necessary distance, splice in extra paper, scotch tape that on there, and connect the lines. If you needed to shorten the waist, then you would do it also right here in the cross by simply folding the pattern for the necessary distance. And you see if you do this right here, then you keep the shape of the pattern. These lines still go parallel. Up here we haven't changed anything. And then this angle, we lifted that up in the waist where it belongs. And that would be the only adjustment that you might have to do here in the length. Also for slacks and skirts, it might be necessary in some cases to lengthen or shorten, and then you would do this right there where the lines go most parallel, and that's usually above or below the knee section. This is how our system works, and in case that you're interested in making other designs for yourself or members of your family, then you can do that with our pattern making manual. In here you find everything that you need to draft your patterns with. Of course, there's also the original tape measure with the sizing scale already attached to it in it. And you will receive a lifelong guarantee on that tape measure with the scale. A pen, 2 pins, and a roll of scotch tape. Then you will find in our instruction part everything explained that I just demonstrated. So in case something is unclear, you can always look that up in the instruction part. Here it shows you how to take the bust and the hip measurements, where to put the pattern design on the paper, how to fix your measurement in the sizing scale, then go right in the center of the cross, on and above the waistline. The dots are made to your bust measurement, and below the waistline always to your hip measurement. How you connect the dots with the tailor's curve, that you make sure you line up a minimum of 3 dots for your curved sections. Then how to lay out your made-to-measure pattern on the material under consideration of the grain line. Don't forget to add the seam allowance. The ease is already built into our patterns, but you have to add for seam allowance. Then what the system is based on, the relationships in the anatomy of the human body. Here it talks about additional updates, like every 3 months we have a new seasonal collection that we publish 4 times a year, and you can order these supplements later if you like. Then we have our symbols page. Now this is a very important page right here, because here you find all the letter symbols explained. And in case you're not quite sure what pattern part you're looking at, then you can always look that up right here on that symbols page. Then we have some practical hints for the hobby dressmaker, how to sew on buttons, collars, sleeves, how to fit in pockets, how to fit in sleeves. If you like to knit, we have a knitting instruction in here. Some of our fashions are specially designed for knits or stretch fabrics, and they have a symbol that indicates that. And then the most important part, that's of course our collection. We have 280 different fashions in our manual, and all of these can be made to anybody's measurements. And there is everything in here: slacks, skirts, dresses, blouses, children's and men's fashions, from the bathing robe to the wedding dress, a beautiful variety of different styles. And if you like to make something, just open the manual, take out the page, and on the other side you will find the necessary pattern designs. When you're done, put it back in the system, and you can keep this next to your sewing machine. It doesn't take much room, and you always know where your patterns are. And there are also basic patterns in here and a beautiful variety of different styles that you can choose from. Some of the fashions you can even mix and match and create your own designs with. And even if your measurements change, it doesn't matter. you can always make a pattern to your new measurements with our system. If you know how to sew, then you will be able to make your own patterns with our system. We would be happy if you became another satisfied user of our system, and should you decide to give it a try, I wish you also in the name of our family best of success with the Golden Rule pattern system and happy sewing. Your Frank Lutterloh.